All right. So good evening, everybody. Thank you first and foremost for making time to be on this call. We do appreciate that you take this time and this energy to learn more about the subject, especially because we know that our main objective here is we want to help people. We want to make sure that we can get CBD into every single household. And there is no easy way to do that. This is not something you just have happen because you want it. You also need to put the energy and the effort. And we live in a world where you can't get anything in return without giving something first. So you taking the time to learn enough about the subject and learn more about CBD will enhance your ability to serve others. And as you help them and you give them more value, this should also translate into better sales. So the time you're taking to learn with us today, it's not something that goes without, you're not losing 30 or 45 minutes of your time and it's going to nowhere. See this time that you're investing as a energy exchange that will give you a return of investment the next time you're in front of your customer or your potential customer. All right. So the objective with the information I'm going to give you guys all tonight is we just want to create more clarity, shed some light on CBD and what is it. As a result, this should give you more tools to work with when you're engaging people who will benefit from the product and allow you to do a better quality service, which will translate into a better sale, right? So at the end of the day, the whole idea of us giving you all this knowledge and then also going further with the trainings, again, I remind you, is so that you can provide better quality service to add value to a person's life. Okay, you don't need to be a doctor to do this. You don't need to be a CBD specialist or even be working, in the head office of a CBD company to do this. You just need to be a compassionate human being that can understand or recognize a problem in someone else's life that you can then provide a solution for. And then the natural exchange will be the money in return for that. Now, just starting out, I'm going to cover some topics here. I'm going to be going into CBD. And you're going to hear some of the things I say, and you might think to yourself, how am I ever going to get this across to someone the same way that Julian does? And I think let's not make that the point of the meeting. Let's try and use the information here to not try and sound like me, but just see how you can add more to what you already have. Because at the end of the day, people don't care how much you know. They always want to know how much you care. And I sound like a broken record when I say that, but that's really true. People are drawn to you because you have a particular story to share. So it's always best when you're learning these things is don't put yourself, or set yourself up standards that are really high and expect yourself to meet up to a standard when it's not natural to who you are. Take what you can from this and learn to integrate it into everyday connections that you have. But at the end of the day, what's really going to sell for you is always going to be your testimony, your story that you're going to share with people that will directly solve the problems that are similar to what they're dealing with. And that's why it's important, guys, if you get started with the knowledge, it's also important that you get started using the products. Now, just before I get into the nitty-gritty of the CBD information, just a bit of my background. I've been in health and wellness for a good 10 years. I started off as a personal trainer. That's where I started my knowledge with helping people. Initially, I was just doing sports conditioning science, but then later on, I decided to study biological medicine. So this course is specifically focused on what dietary habits and lifestyle habits influence your health overall. Now, this is a powerful course that I did. It really opened and expanded my mind as to what medicine is. That's saying a lot. I come from a medical background. My mom is a medical doctor, and even I wanted to study medicine, and she talked me out of it because she said, if you can learn how to help change people's lifestyles, you'll do much more powerful healing than what you do just trying to solve them with a quick fix or a simple solution that only works for the time that they're using it and doesn't continue longevity or health. So I went into biomed to learn this. And this knowledge took me very far and wide. I've worked all over the world. I've worked in the Americas. I've worked in Australia. I've particularly helped people to change their lifestyle so that they can live better health and have a better lifestyle overall. And this is the kind of information that I'm going to share with you guys. So how you can sort of meet people halfway, understand where they're coming from, but then give them real-time solutions that will help them to, if not help them to, overall improve their lifestyle as a whole, at least solve basic problems that might be getting in their everyday life. Now, with CBD itself, what is CBD? I'm going to get down to the grassroots of it or the history of it. CBD, or cannabidiol, is a cannabinoid that can be found in the hemp or the cannabis plant. This was discovered back in the 1940s. It was discovered by a doctor. I just want to get my facts 100% straight so that you can also share it on that level. CBD was discovered by an American doctor. His name was Dr. Roger Adams, and he synthesized CBD, and that was in the 1940s, and no one touched it until the 1990s when a doctor from the University of Israel, his name is Dr. Raphael McCoolum, did research on CBD, the cannabinoid, and he wanted to understand what does this substance do in the human body. And then from researching CBD, he discovered a system in the body, which he later called the endocannabinoid system. Now, this is a medical system in our body. It just so happens that he called it the endocannabinoid system because he found it through the interaction of cannabinoids in the human body. So he named it the endocannabinoid system. But truly, to understand it, it is the system responsible for homeostasis in the body. Homeo means same and stasis means state. So what this system does, it has receptors all over the body. And whenever there's an imbalance that we find in our body, our endocannabinoid system will correct the imbalances that it's experiencing to bring us back to homeostasis. When you're in homeostasis, you are at ease. When you are out of homeostasis, you're in dis-ease. So that's a very profound realization. When Dr. Raphael McCoolum discovered this in the 1990s, he discovered it as a medical doctor. He did all the research on it, and now it's being published into medical journals because it is an actual system that you have in your body, just like what you have your digestive system, your circulatory system, your pulmonary system, you know, your endocrine system, and so on and so forth. So it is an actual system that works in your body that has a direct interaction with cannabinoids, and CBD is one of the most important nutrients with regards to the system. So that's a bit of the history of it. 9 out of 10 times this will never come up, but the reason why I share it with you guys, and there's always a purpose why I bring this knowledge forward, it's not random. The reason why I bring it up is because one of the first things you're going to find when you're encountering people with CBD is they're going to want to know, you know, does it work? Does it do this? Does it do that? And the thing is, CBD is not some hype train chemical that we're finding and then we're just running with it until someone says to us, you can't. CBD in itself is actually been medically studied for many, many years. I mean, I know it doesn't feel like it, but guys, the 1990s are about 30 years ago. So it's for 30 years they've been doing research on CBD and the endocannabinoid system. And this research is published. It's well known in medical journals. You can look it up. You can actually find this knowledge. And why that's so important is it validates your claim that you have on CBD. It says this is not just something you can just bat an eyelid to. It is a genuine substance that plays a role in the body. Now, the way I like to see CBD is think of CBD as a nutrient. So if you think of your circulatory system in your body, it's what pumps blood all over. And I don't know how many people are clued in on this, but I'm sure it's not foreign knowledge. But I'm sure somewhere along the lines in your life, you've heard when you want to look after your blood system, you take iron supplements to support your blood. And it's the same thing with CBD. CBD is as much as a nutrient to the endocannabinoid system as what iron is to our circulatory system. So when you're introducing people to CBD, it's going to be a bit foreign to tell them about the endocannabinoid system and try and upgrade their knowledge on this level. And you can do that, and you might find you will encounter this conversation with most people, or not with most people, with some people. But at the end of the day, this is just knowledge for yourself that you need to understand. So when you think of CBD, think of it as a nutrient. It supports our endocannabinoid system. This is the system that's responsible for keeping our body in homeostasis, or the same state. Now, why is this so important? So I'm going to use an analogy to give you guys perspective. Every single day, we do things and we eat things and consume things that alter our homeostasis. They affect our body's state of balance. Now, this is not a problem if it happens once, but if every single day you keep shifting your body out of homeostasis, after 5, 10, 15 years, that little bit of a shift that you had will have a massive deviation. And what started off as you going just 5%, out of the way of good health will become a massive shift from good health, because it puts tremendous strain on your body. So to give you the analogy, it's like compound interest. So if anyone remembers from their high school days when you were doing math and you were calculating compound interest for tax or for credit or whatever it may be, you quickly learned that compound interest won't add up to a lot after a year, but after 5, 10, or 15 years, that compound interest is a lot. And it's the same with your body. If your body's fighting to stay in homeostasis every single day because of our daily habits, after 5, 10, 15 years, you're going to have a massive shift, and then you get a return of that interest. Now, depending on what habits you have, if you have good habits or bad habits, you get a good return or a bad return. Now, how CBD ties in with this is CBD is a nutrient that supports the very system that keeps our body in homeostasis. Now, that being said, taking CBD is not going to solve all your problems once and for all. It's not like I take CBD now, I'm in homeostasis, cool, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I can continue drinking, a liter of wine a day and chomping that cake and not going to the gym or anything like that. That's not what we're saying here. Definitely CBD is a nutrient that will be important to add to your diet, and it will definitely have benefits. Without a question of a doubt, we know for sure CBD will give you benefits if you use it. But the whole idea with My Alpha Lifestyle, and you probably have already noticed, is we're introducing lifestyle-related programs so that we're meeting you halfway. What CBD does is it gives you a window period. It gives you a bit of a grace, helping your body to stay in homeostasis by serving as a nutrient to support your endocannabinoid system, and then gradually as time goes on, also incorporating lifestyle changes, and as a whole, you'll start to notice a huge improvement of your health. Now, that being said, the reason why I start with that preface is because I want people to know, I want you to be able to sell CBD to everyone, and I really truly believe everyone will benefit from CBD, especially knowing that CBD will not come up on a drug test and show you positive for any drug. It's not illegal to use. It's completely legal to sell. It has no side effects, no negative side effects that we know of. And the great thing about CBD is that CBD has a massive impact on its own without having to change your lifestyle on certain factors like your stress levels. Because when you're in massive stress, your body is no longer at ease, and therefore it is in dis-ease because it's no longer in homeostasis. So by using CBD as a nutrient, it brings you back and it helps you to manage your stress. What is the knock-on effect of that? By bettering my stress, how do my sleeping patterns improve? Well, it's a natural side effect. If I'm not stressing as much, I don't have as much anxiousness through the day, worrying about all the world's things, I'm able to sleep better. When I sleep better, what happens when I wake up in the morning? When I wake up in the morning, I will have I'll have a better clarity of thought, and I'm able to focus better. So there you've really got 3 benefits that CBD knocks out. You've got anti-stress. It helps you to sleep better, as well as CBD is phenomenal at helping you with your mental focus and clarity through the day. So now I will share my testimony. Now, obviously, you've heard the backstory of me knowing knowledge on CBD and having studied biomed and working with clients in serving their lifestyles and helping them to get better. But you haven't heard how CBD has benefited me. So personally, I work a high stress life, guys. You're going to see in the future, I'm going to be traveling the world. You're going to be getting updates of me being all over the place. And, some days I work 16, 17-hour days in the week, and it's exhausting work. Now, the hardest part for me was for the last 3 years, I've been struggling with sleep. Well, not the last 3 years, to be honest, it was mostly from 2017 till 2020. I couldn't sleep because my stress levels were so high that at night I found my thoughts were going from one side to the other side of my head, and I couldn't sleep for the life of me. My mind was just too active. And then in 2021, in March of this year, was the first time I used CBD on a consistent basis, but specifically to help me manage my sleep and my anxiety. I had terrible anxiety because of my work stress and my overall financial situation. So what happened was I started introducing CBD. Now, I've used it in the past for pain, and with pain, I can also tell you without a question of a doubt, whenever I've struggled with pain, CBD has helped me to improve my pain levels a lot so that I feel less discomfort. But this was the first time I'm using it, particularly for stress and anxiety. And after 2 weeks, I was able to properly sleep for 10 hours in a night. And I've been able to keep that sleep cycle. Well, not 10 hours every night, but at least I get more than 6. For me, I couldn't go more than 3 hours of sleep and then I'd wake up. So for the first time in 3 years, CBD allowed me to sleep through the night, and I've been able to keep that. And for me, that has been massive because now it allows me to focus more when it comes to work. I'm able to keep clarity while doing my day-to-day tasks. I'm not as easily distracted because I'm not tired. And I've also noticed my overall anxiety levels have come straight down. Now, I don't need to be a scientist to tell you how amazing that is. You know, you don't know me from a bar of soap, and I can tell you the story, and you'd think, you know, Julian, I've been really struggling with my overall health and well-being. So even though it's really, you know, and I've been struggling with stress and sleeplessness, so maybe I'll give it a try. So even though I'm giving you guys this knowledge about CBD, you see how easy it is to be able to serve someone without having to know all of this background detail. Granted, what we've spoken about is really important, but only 5% of the people you're going to talk to are going to need this nitty-gritty information. So I'm glad you guys are trying to learn more about it. But you're going to see, even as I'm talking, I always refer back to my own experience. As much as what I know about the science of it, there has been research done on CBD. We know without a question of a doubt that CBD can be used within epilepsy to manage Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which is a epilepsy, a type of epilepsy. It has been clinically proven now without a question of a doubt, although granted, if you're dealing with someone who's got epilepsy, always, anyone that's on medication, always refer them to a doctor or communicate with us so that we can also get our doctors to work with your customer. But it is clinically proven, you know, but at the end of the day, it's the clinical science. No one ever, you know, only 1% of the population ever makes a decision on the clinical science. But if they do ask, you can go into it. But at the end of the day, always going to end up referring back to that testimony of yours. So anyway, going back, I digress there. Going back, so now we've got 3 benefits. You know now CBD, by putting your body back into homeostasis, you're back at ease. When you're back at ease, your stress levels are lower. You're allowed to sleep better. So now you've got 2 benefits: less stress. Along with stress can fall in line with anxiousness. Anxiousness is a symptom of high stress. And then you can sleep better. After sleeping better, your mental focus and your clarity improves. So your mindfulness will be enhanced. Then the 4th thing that is very popular with CBD, and I touched on it, is pain. So CBD works as a pain dampener. When we're dealing with, you know, an injury or swelling, or sore, inflamed muscles from working out, or just, you know, wear and tear, CBD does 2 things that works really good for pain. So the first thing that CBD will do, by putting your body in homeostasis, whenever your body is in a repair situation, it will recognize damage or pain as being out of homeostasis, and it will quickly start trying to get it back into homeostasis. By using CBD, the nutrient that supports the endocannabinoid system, which is responsible for homeostasis, it speeds this whole process up. So now you will have a faster recovery time. So you notice when you have pain, for example, you've damaged your knee, maybe through wear and tear. I know I've had knee surgery. If anyone here on this you know, Zoom call has ever had any kind of surgery or anything like that, hip surgery, knee surgery, you know how sore it gets. CBD speeds up any recovery process that needs to happen, and it allows you to reduce the swelling. When you reduce the swelling, the natural effect will be that your pain reduces faster. And then secondly, it works as a nerve dampener. So even though pain is important, pain tells us, hey, something's wrong, now you need to look after that. Excessive pain signaling from the area where you've affected yourself to the brain can also not be a healthy situation. So when CBD has been taken or administered orally and topically for the pain area, then CBD immediately works at dampening the nerve from any excessive nerve activity signaling pain. Now, bear in mind, the body is like that. The body can sometimes be excessive in producing nerve signaling for pain. So by using a nutrient like CBD, you can actually block this from happening to allow your body just to ease up on that pain feeling And then also while it's working at speeding up the recovery, you can notice an increase in your recovery time from after working out, or if you are experiencing pain from wear and tear in your body. So now we've got 5 things we've brought up. We've brought up stress levels. We've brought up sleep. We've brought up mental focus and clarity. We've brought up pain. And it's also an anti-swelling agent. So it helps your body to deal with swelling, when you've got an area that's swollen up, either through pain or certain reactions, like, for example, in your skin. Ladies, you might have experienced rosacea in the skin. I don't know if you've heard of that term. It's the reddening of the skin. That is swelling that's occurring in your face. By using CBD in our skin products with our day and night cream, as well as our facial cleanser, you're providing anti-swelling properties through the CBD, and it's bringing the body back into homeostasis. There we go. So these are all the very direct things you can hit on, but also going back to what I was saying about compound interest, you can see how CBD can be something for everyone. Because it puts your body into homeostasis, every single person on this planet could benefit from CBD. Granted, we could all benefit from eating a little bit better and drinking more water and being more active and choosing better lifestyle choices. But at the end of the day, if you can't do those immediately, at least you can start with CBD. And if your intention is not to change your lifestyle completely to live a healthier overall lifestyle, look, no one's going to force you to do that. But at least by using CBD, you're giving your body at least some form of a fighting chance. And then if you are willing to make that step to make certain lifestyle changes, that's why we put the programs that we put on in our website, like our food or our nutrition program, lifestyle, our nutrition lifestyle program that Rudy's placed on the website for all of us. How's it, Alfie? Thank you for announcing. Welcome, welcome. Okay.
Thank you. What's up, everyone? Feel my presence. I'm here.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, sorry, carry on.
No stress, Alfie. So you came into the button. I think I've covered most of the important things. Now, I've covered a brief lacquer overview of CBD, and you'll see in the chats, if you haven't seen it, I'm going to post it again, because I know if you've arrived late, it might be not there anymore. But here's a video. You guys can just copy this video, save it to your clipboard, or open it on your phone. But do it now while we're on the chat. Otherwise, you won't have access to it, although we can put it on the groups if you'd like. And you have a medical doctor just very simply explaining CBD for you in exactly, a very audio-visual kind of way that's easy to absorb. It's going to highlight everything that I've just said now, but just give you that foundation. Now, that video in itself is very, very important. You can learn a lot from it, but the objective of that video is not to turn you into a doctor after 22 minutes of watching a YouTube video. The objective of that is to instill confidence, okay? Because remember, when you're working with your customer, you want them to feel confident, and they can't feel confident if you don't feel confident. So by watching that video, it just gives you that confidence. Okay, cool. This is something that is going to definitely be beneficial to this person. But at the end of the day, all the knowledge I share with you guys, and I really feel like a broken record, but I really don't need to share more than what I already have, because honestly, it is that simple. But that knowledge, as great as what it is not what makes the defining factor. The defining factor, as I always say, is people care. They want to know how much, or don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. And the best way to show how much you care is by appealing to a person who's dealt with something very similar to what you've dealt with, and then giving them that solution. By watching these videos and joining these trainings, all I'm saying to you guys, it's okay. You have every right to confidently tell someone you should be using CBD. That confidence goes a long way towards their experience with the product and allowing them to have the results and solve the problems that they're looking to solve. At the end of the day, you don't want to walk in with doubt. So if you need to clear any doubt within your mind of how CBD works and whether or not it's beneficial, then always refer back to that video or join one of our one-on-one meetings, and I can give you more and more clarity. Now, I've spoken a whole bunch now. I've shared quite a bit of information. I want to know, is there any particular questions you feel that I haven't answered, or you need more clarity on, or you want me to just give more confidence in? Please, guys, come ask now, because it's really, I'm able to answer any real question. So, you can really hit me with any difficulties you might have faced or anything you're unsure of with CBD. Yes, Alfie, we can start with you.
Yeah, Julian. Okay, I just want to, this is some motivation for the rest as well. I just want to say
Always
thank you.
that
I had a client where she asked me about CBD, and there was some sort of celiac disease, and all these things
Yes,
go hand in hand to diet.
yes.
And I sent Julian the screenshot of this conversation, and he got back to me with some good information. So yeah, I must say thank you for that, Julian. The
You're
rest can
welcome.
actually just do what I did as well.
Yeah, 100%. Look, obviously, maybe you're sitting right now on the Zoom call and you're like, you know what? I don't know. I don't know like what to ask because I haven't encountered it yet. But I will put in my WhatsApp number for you guys. And at any time, if you want to just ask me, hey, I've encountered this, what's your take on it? Look, at the end of the day, guys, I'm a CBD enthusiast. I've been working as a health and wellness coach for the last 10 years. I'm not a doctor, but we do have doctors, so I can refer to them and I can also get, second opinions, or we can follow you through or tunnel you through the right processes or the right people, procedures, so that you can get the answer you're looking for. And I do remind you, at the end of the day, look, I'm not here to teach you how to sell sand to an Arab, although that's fantastic, to have that kind of sales ability. But also CBD is limited. Look, if someone tells you, look, I've lost my arm, is CBD going to help it grow back? I'm going to have to tell you, you can't say those kind of things, But if they're dealing with
Yeah.
pain and they're just looking for a solution for their pain, 100%, let them start using CBD as part of a recovery protocol. And that's the beauty of it. This is something that most people should be using, and a large part of the population could benefit from this. I mean, 4 out of 5 people in South Africa today are dealing with anxiety. We're dealing with a case of anyone above the age of 65, you pretty much guarantee they're going to have some form of osteoarthritis. It's not going to reverse the osteoarthritis, but will it give them relief? 100% it will give them relief. And then who are you to not try and offer that to someone who would definitely benefit from it? So just knowing what the possibilities are and the limitations. And if you do need me to answer a question, there's my number. You can always forward me a question and I can be able to give you an answer that will serve you better with that sales process, because we are trying to serve people here, and that's the bottom line. And thanks for sharing that, Alfie. Yeah, that's a very good point in case. If you don't have a question right now, but you ever do encounter it, we're a handful or a full team that can help you guys every step of the way. Now, I'm just going to ask, is there any other questions, anything else I need to open up? Are you don't have questions because I covered all the details properly, or is it because you don't have questions because you don't even know if you absorbed everything that I said? And then if not, where did you maybe lose track? And then we can maybe go over that. Anyone?